Oh my God! Derek, stop doing. Get your.
Hey, Jeff Bezos, you make $8 million per hour, but you pay $0 in taxes? What the fuck? Well, I don't make any money. What? Okay, look, the $8 million you're talking about isn't my income. It's an increase of the Amazon shares I own. Yeah, but you still made a profit. You gotta pay taxes on that. No, as long as I don't sell my stocks, I don't have to pay anything. Well, you're gonna have to sell it eventually. How are you gonna get money then? Whenever I need money, I go out to the bank and take out a huge loan. And since debt is tax-free, I don't have to pay any taxes on that. Well, how are you gonna pay off that loan then? I'll take out an even bigger loan to pay off the previous loan. And how are you gonna pay the bigger loan then? I'll take out a loan even larger than that and do the same thing. Wait, you're gonna keep doing that? Till when? Until I die. So you won't ever pay taxes in your entire life? How do the banks allow this if they know you're gonna keep taking out loans? Well, the banks get their interest paid back from the loans, and I get to save billions in taxes. So it's really a win-win situation. How does the government allow this? You guys wrote the tax code, not me.
I'm one of the guys. Between my thighs, say it louder.
Optimus Prime.
Trans agenda?
Well, yes, I am a trans agenda. Wahoo!
The people that claim having muscles and being stronger won't make you happier are clearly not self-sacrificing, people-pleasing empaths. Getting an old lady's carry-on from the overhead bin in an airplane fulfills me. Being the first person people call when they're moving because they know I can lift heavy shit makes me feel happy. And there is no better feeling than going out with the girly pops for a night out and knowing damn well, deep in their hearts, they feel safer because I'm around. And something that gratifies my heart, although it may not be true, is if some girl that some man wants to harass sees me next to her, he thinks freaking twice. I love being told, damn near on a daily basis, that my hugs feel like a bubble of safety, warmth, and love. I love that my clothes fit a little bigger on all my friends because that means they won't have to raid some dusty, crusty man's closet. When my niece is born, I'll be able to hold her for as long as my sister requires because I'm big, burly, and strong. And last but certainly not least, if it's a cold, rainy day and I just so happen to have to go grocery shopping, I'm getting those suckers in all in one trip. So tell me again that muscles won't make me happier.
For some reason, the minute that I say white people, y'all cut your listening ears off in every capacity, whether you're white or not. So let's click them back on and try again. The infrastructure needed to successfully dismantle and destroy a regime like the United States will obviously not be built by the United States, clearly. The reason the Black Panther Party was ever successful, so successful that they were labeled a terrorist organization by the government, is because they understood the central tenets of community and care. They fed the children, they provided books, they protected their neighborhoods by understanding that the world didn't revolve around them and their comforts, but the community and their needs. They built the infrastructure. They were the infrastructure. So when Black folk, especially those involved in activism and advocacy, point out the fact that y'all are getting a little bit ahead of yourselves when you say, let's burn down the house that we're currently staying in, and say, hey, what if we got our friends and loved ones out first and then did what we needed to do? Maybe don't then say, you need to look up the Black Panther Party. You do that. Because I know, as they knew, as many people know, that revolution that we want so bad isn't going to happen if we have no sense of community. And we don't. We can't even get people to wear a mask during a major COVID surge. We can't get people to stop eating at McDonald's and Starbucks. We can't get people to donate to these silly little mutual aid funds for individuals, much less contribute to a fund big enough to support people when they lose their houses in these rent strikes people are suggesting. It is a wonderful thing that people are finally en masse waking up to the atrocities that people have been facing and talking about for decades, since the Black Panther Party and before. That's a good thing. But it's not good that y'all, now armed with this knowledge that is new to you but not new to so many others, want to ignore the guidance, guidelines, and examples given to us by people who have been doing this work on the ground for years, and instead use them as like these throwing points when people say things you don't want to hear. And it's even worse that y'all don't want to start with doing the work within yourselves to decenter yourself and center the community so that we can have the resources and the infrastructure to survive this revolution of which you speak. Because obviously, the master will never give you the tools to dismantle the house. Check out Audre Lorde while you're just quoting people. I'm not saying the revolution has to happen slowly. I'm not saying you have to wait for the government. I'm not saying you have to vote your way through. I've never said that because I don't believe in it. All I'm saying is, right now, the path that we're headed on, where we need to dismantle the government, but we don't have a backup plan, and all we can think about is ourselves. The only thing we're going to accomplish is getting marginalized people hurt. So many people read The Hunger Games in a day, thought it happened in a day, act like they're Katniss Everdeen, and forget that Katniss had a team. We could have been established an infrastructure that would support us when this inevitable revolution happens. But instead, we don't want to decenter ourselves. We don't want to wear masks during a pandemic. We don't want to boycott anything. And we don't want to be told things that make us moderately uncomfortable where we might have to check ourselves. All that's going to happen is that once you've successfully burned down the house that you're living in and accidentally burned down the entire block with you, you're going to look around and go, now what? And you're going to put the same systems in place because you did not do that dismantling work within you in the first place. Y'all are getting a little bit ahead of yourselves when you say, let's burn down the house that we're currently staying.
Okay, I am going to push back lightly against this video because I do agree with the points made there. Because obviously it has been, said time and time again, things like the revolution that feeds the children is the revolution that wins the people. And yes, revolutions need structures in place. But I think that we have to be honest with ourselves and say that revolutionary action almost always comes first. Like, yes, the Black Panthers were out there doing community work, feeding, children, offering free breakfast. They were, putting books in libraries, but they picked up the guns first. There's this anarchist idea called the propaganda of the deed, and I think that needs to be infused into what we're talking about here, which is that, we can spend all this time preparing and setting up structures for our revolution, but ultimately, if the revolution isn't doing anything, it's not that useful. Like mutual aid, perfect example. Is mutual aid being used as a tool for the revolution, as in when we engage in revolutionary action, we have mutual aid networks to fall back on? Or is mutual aid being used as a sort of reform piece for capitalism so that capitalism is easier to survive upon? Because if all mutual aid is another way for people to pay their bills, and we're not adding any sort of actual action onto that, you have just reinvented philanthropy. That's not part of the revolution. Yes, it is untenable to burn down the house while we're standing in it. But if there is no flame, people have no incentive to get out of the house. I think we've deified the idea that revolutions are these structured things. And the reality is, and the scary truth is, they are not. There is no amount of planning that you can do for a revolution. It is something that just happens, and you have to make it happen. It's become essentially a tool to curtail revolutions before they even happen by saying we haven't done all the necessary work. We're not ready for a revolution. Nobody is ever ready for revolution. That's a hard truth. And the hard truth is that sometimes in revolutions you make shit up on the fly. That's how it happens every time. So the US government is never going to just sit back and let you establish a separate system from which you can then launch your revolution. The two have to be simultaneous. A common way people shoot down boycotts and strikes, they say, we need the unions to be in on this. But I think people forget that unions now have been integrated into the capitalist system, but they did not used to be like that. Before, you had to fight for your right to get a union. The union did not come first. The union did not, the organizing came after there was the fight. So yes, the organizing and the structure and the preparation is all great. It's beautiful. But hard pill time There is no amount of organizing that you can do to be ready for the revolution. It just happens.
Can we stop telling Jewish people advocating for Palestinian liberation that they're self-hating Jews or that they're not really Jewish at all? Because it's just not accurate. Reason I'm able to embrace a politics of collective liberation is because I love myself and the world around me so deeply that I refuse to accept a status quo that is not making anyone safer. So actually, I am such a self-loving Jew that I'm able to imagine, advocate for, and desire freedom, dignity, and equity for more than just my own people. And I'm able to arrive to that because I have studied coalition building and solidarity for years. And I fundamentally understand that if Palestinian people do not have access to life and livability, Jewish people will not have access to life and livability. There cannot be one without the other. That is what collective liberation means. It means we're all free or none of us are free. If you're not free, I'm not free. If you're free, I am free. Our futures and our freedoms are intimately wound up in one another. If you disagree with my politics, and many people do, and that's okay, then just say that. There has never been a community on the face of the planet ever that has had 100% consensus about anything. Even folks who do have a shared political ideology exist on a spectrum of that political ideology. But this bizarre maneuver of attempting to strip away one's Jewishness and then make the intervention, then make the point, is bizarre to me. If you disagree, you just disagree. That doesn't make me any less Jewish. That doesn't make you any less Jewish. We're just embodying our Jewish values differently.
You want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats, I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic, don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke, homie, no cap.
Hey man.
Hey man, little help?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for saving me back there, man.
What are friends for?
What are friends for?
Huh?
Like, what are friends?
I guess it's someone that you like. Someone that you care about.
Yeah, but why? Why do we care?
Because we know them. We understand them, right?
Yeah, we're in the same place at the same time.
And we go through similar struggles.
Yeah, but how's that different from any person walking by on the street?
Huh?
All of us. Everyone. We're in the exact same place at the exact same time. Going through the world together. Wouldn't that make, like, everyone my best friend?
Huh. Yeah, I guess it would.